If you follow my channel, you'll know this year I picked up 2 pairs of indigo jeans. The Oni 902 ZRs in their 20-ounce secret denim, and the BENZAK B01s in 15.5 Japanese denim. So we're getting towards the end of the year. Thought I'd do a bit of an update. I've been wearing these BENZAKs for 3 months and the Onis for 6. So both are coming up for a soak and a wash respectively, and I thought it was time to do a couple of updates. So if you're interested in the Onis, check out the review which will be coming up shortly. I'll be taking a look at these at the 6-month mark, but this video is very much all about the BENZAK. So these I've been wearing for 3 months, and I've been wearing them really often. They're great jeans. I thought it'd be worth sharing their sort of evolution. If you haven't heard of BENZAK before, check out my first initial thoughts video. Lots of details there. Mainly this video is going to be about how they've evolved with 3 months regular wear, but in a nutshell, BENZAK are a European brand based in the Netherlands, and they set out to bring Japanese quality but with Western cuts. So they started out with I think it was Japanese manufacture, certainly Japanese fabrics, but in around about 2016 they brought the production into the EU with factories in Portugal, and this is one of their EU built Portuguese made denims, or jeans rather. It's actually the 15-ounce Kojima, is that how you say it? But a Japanese denim, but very much made in the EU. So with these, just before we get into the real close-ups looking how they've evolved, these are a slim straight, I think it's got a slight taper after the knee, a slim jean for sure, and it's a perfect fit for me. I knew from the dimensions on the web pages before I actually even took delivery that this was going to be a good fit. But this is just the way I like my denim. Now this is actually a 31-inch or 31-inch waist on the tag. It came in just over 33. So my broken in sort of fit is around about 34. So typically with this sort of starchy, tight woven Japanese denim, you're going to expect about an inch of stretch on the waist. So these actually fit me absolutely perfectly with a 31 tag size. Typically the sort of general rule is 32 is going to end up with 34 real measurements, but that's by the by. Go with what the measurements the individual manufacturers give you and use your expertise. So these are a great fit for me. I've been wearing these daily at work, so 3 months in, 5-day working week, so around about 50-60 solid days of wear. And I know loads of manufacturers, including BENZAK, always say go as long as possible before you wash, a year or more. My personal outlook, and I will do a follow-up video on this because I've got some other thoughts around different denims and some more to say on it, but my general philosophy is that if you want your jeans to last a reasonable amount of time, you do need to get them wet, just to clean out the debris and the dust and, in fact, the factory starch from between the fibres, certainly with something with a tight weave like this. So what I tend to do, after a few years of experimenting and seeing jeans blow out around the backs of the knees and on the crotch where there's real strain on the fabric, I like to give them a soak at around about 3 months or every 3 months. So a soak, to me, how I describe that is simply rinsing it through manually in a warm bathtub worth of water and then letting it naturally dry. That just clears out the debris. There's no detergent. That's just my take on it. About 6-month mark, I will get a little bit of gentle detergent in the mix as well, but on average I'm trying to get them wet every 3 months just to keep the fabric clean enough that it doesn't self-destruct. No signs of self-destruction on these, but prevention is better than cure. So these are going to get a 3 months. As I said, this video is all about the details. So in we are for some close-ups here. And as you can see, actually under this sort of bright studio lighting, the fades really are starting to settle in quite nicely. As I say, these have had 3 months wear, but that has been pretty frequent wear. So 5 days a week, all day long, much more heavily worn than most jeans I've featured on the channel. So the evolution is really coming along quite nicely. You'll see on the front of the zip, or fly rather, it's a button fly of course, just the edge of the fabric losing its indigo there nicely. You can see the whiskers setting in and sort of radiating out from the crutch area, and as I mentioned, these will be getting a soak, and it's places like this, real sort of high wear, high stress areas, where I just want to relieve a little bit of the pressure and take out any debris which might be sort of speeding up wear on these fibres. Typically I find that there's a little fold just at the bottom of the construction of the fly there, and again that's another pressure point. So it's just those little bits which, once you lose it and the fabric breaks down, you just really are into a repair situation. So anything I can do to keep these in good repair without needing any sort of remedial work, I think that's a trade-off against a tiny little bit of indigo loss that people seem to fear. So nice whiskers radiating out around the crutch there, nice sort of detailing of the electric blue coming through as we lose indigo on the edges there. Around the pockets, the edges where they get rubbed as I put my hands in and out, looking quite nice. On these, because they're a very slim cut, which is my preferred cut, they fit really well, but I don't put much in the pockets. So there's no particular interesting patterns coming out of the 5th pocket there, or indeed BENZAK's own innovation, which is this 6th pocket with the nice selvage edge there. Maybe I might put a bit of paperwork in there, but really with a very slim profile I'm not putting much into these pockets personally. Just opening up the fly just to show you the detail, if you didn't pick up my first video, particularly nice little tag there with the tag size, which I just think is a nice detail. BDD branding on the insides of the buttons and rivets, external branding on the buttons, but the rivets are bare. They haven't really picked up much patina yet, but that will come, I'm sure. Not much to see on the inside, apart from to say that the pocket bags are of really good construction. I do tend to keep my phone in here, and obviously that's got a few sort of, not sharp edges, but pronounced edges, and there's no unusual wear around that. The 5th pocket here also has a nice selvage detail. Very nice. The waistband on these are actually curved to help find that perfect fit. Nice little bit of branding there with the sewing machine. I guess it's the Union sewing machine. Okay, so flipping them over, take a look at the back here, and as I typically find, back pockets start to find those highlights just around the raised edges, as does the seam on the back rise there, the edges of the yoke. You'll notice that there's actually much more pronounced fades on my right hand side here, simply because I carry my work bag there and it does cause some natural abrasion specific to me, which is kind of quite nice. BENZAK's little steer's head there, steer's skulls are very much a Western style theme. The thread which these sort of tack stitches and logo here are put in, they are indigo dyed threads. They are slowly shedding their indigo. It's very hard to pick up, but actually so quite an interesting detail there. One particular thing that I've liked is the patch here. This is a cowhide patch, which is, I guess you describe this as a veg tan. So it starts out completely untanned, so just simply, well, it's lighter hue of leather as you'd find, and over time I've treated it a little bit with the Chamberlain's leather milk here, the healing balm, just to keep it moist to stop any cracking. But over time you can see a nice little tan line on it, where that bottom portion peeps out beyond my belt, and I just think that's really nice, just having this patinaing and weathering the same way that leather does, the denim does. Okay, so just moving down the back here, you can see some nice honeycombs forming on the rear of the knees. I hope these will pop a little bit more, but again, for me these are very much areas where I've found other jeans to suffer stress, so as I soak these, it's just to take the tension out. These these will fade to white pretty quickly in the next few months, but that's always to me an indication of a high stress area. So just taking out a little bit of debris, certainly on a slim cut, these things do speed up the wear. Moving down to the hem, these have stacked. I've been wearing these uncuffed, so there's a 34-inch leg. It was all about the stacking on these. Now, actually probably what I've learnt is day to day 34 is a little bit, well, certainly for an office environment, it didn't provide quite the smart silhouette that I was seeking. The stacking was a bit too pronounced, so I think probably at some point I might either start wearing these cuffed or maybe have them taking up to 33 just to trim back that stacking a little. Now, there hasn't really been any noticeable fading on those stacks, but it will come. There's the front, maybe just slight highlights, but it isn't popping through to electric blue yet, but they are sort of well set in. On the inside there, you've got the hem. Now, one interesting thing on these is that whilst these are sort of made in a traditional way on a union sewing machine, there is no roping. It's got consistent pressure all the way along that stitch. So what I'm wondering is, once I get these wet, whether we'll start seeing that roping coming in, because normally you just have that little irregularity which comes with the varying tensions in that stitch. So that'll be interesting to see. I am figuring that probably once it gets wet, shrinks a little, it will behave in the normal way. Nice selvage detail there. And finally, moving on to the front, just to get down to the knee and see what's going on there. So on the knee, I haven't put much wear on these knees. There will be slight highlights where the creases come in from the honeycombs on the back, but generally pretty consistent, minimal fading on the knees, but that will come. You can see just a few highlights there where you've got the deepest creases, but not much going on the knees yet. It really is all going on at the top here and evolving really, really nicely. So yeah, that's what they look like. That's it. Hopefully you've enjoyed seeing how these jeans are developing and evolving over time. Certainly I've been enjoying wearing these, and it's great to be able to bring a quality denim into the office, and the cut, the density of colour just about allows me to do that and pair these with a nice pair of brown brogues and still look smart enough in a sort of smart casual environment. I'll follow this up again at around about the 6-month mark, and I think probably after having its initial soak, I do find that the denim starts to shed its indigo a little bit more readily. So I think we'll probably see some really interesting evolution over the next 3 months. Certainly I'll update you either way. As I said, follow-up review on these Onis. They're at 6-month mark. They haven't been worn quite as frequently, hence the lack of review in between, but they are starting to evolve quite nicely, and certainly this secret denim is very, very different to anything I've really tried before. Much looser weave, very slubby, and it's actually got this sort of almost green cast to it. Very interesting denim, and interesting experience actually these. So do follow along for that. If you haven't seen my channel before, please do check it out. It's not all denim, although I can promise that that's a regular theme. But if you're into boots, Red Wings, Thorougoods, formal shoes, brogues, Grents and Barker, that sort of stuff, you'll find some stuff of interest. Everyday carry, fountain pens, pen knives, that sort of stuff. Do check it out. If you think this is a useful video, please give it a thumbs up. Of course, check out BENZAK's webpage. They've got lots of new products, very much a company which is growing. And yeah, I've been interested to try out their product. It's nice to have a European or another European maker to choose from. Okay, thank you very much. Bye-bye.